Ardie Halyard's favorite line to me was, "By the grace of God, there goes I." I was a sharecropper's daughter and had no money, but somebody helped me. So therefore, it's imperative for all of us to help others. Ardie was the oldest of 16 children. Her father's sister lived in Atlanta, Georgia, and they owned a corner store/drugstore. And she came to live with them and worked in the store. And then one of the ladies in the neighborhood saw her aptitude, being a very intelligent young lady, provided scholarship for her to go to Atlanta University Normal School. And Wilbur was also the oldest sibling, was inspired to come to Morehouse College. Columbia Savings and Loan was established September 24th, 1924, 90 years ago. It was established for the sole purpose for people of color who could not establish a mortgage loan to purchase a home. This was the first opportunity, of course, for a fund to be named for an African-American person in our community, thanks to the Greater Milwaukee Foundation through the late Edith Finlayson's efforts to make it happen. And allowed young people to go to University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee in the business program to learn how to become an entrepreneur. This fund is so important because it says to any young person, if they can do it, I certainly can.
The significance of the Women's Fund here in Milwaukee is that we are the only foundation that funds social change initiatives that are led by women and girls. The women who came up with the idea to start the Women's Fund were already trailblazers in their own right when they did this. They knew what they wanted and they knew that they needed to fight for it. It was not popular for women to demand that they be given their rights. The end result is that they were able to start the Women's Fund of Greater Milwaukee, which has been around for 27, 28 years. And that's an amazing feat in itself, that their passion is still driving this. I don't think they could have ever imagined the impact that they would have on social change initiatives. We have conversations all the time with people who have been affected by the funding that came from the Women's Fund. We've created women leaders in this community that I think have continued to lead the way for social change for women and girls. We are just so proud of that.
The Milwaukee Foundation had never had a fund that wasn't a donor-advised fund. And they had to go completely out of their box and think completely differently about doing this. Society was nowhere near where they are today in terms of acceptance of the gay community. And getting the Milwaukee Foundation's seal of approval was a huge deal in those days. We immediately became credible overnight. I remember going and soliciting the CEO of one of Wisconsin's largest companies, and he turned us down. And the next day I ran into him and I said to him, "I'm so disappointed that you have not stepped forward and did not see how a group of committed young people in your community are doing something positive." And the next day we had a check for $10,000, which was a big check in those days. The Wisconsin AIDS Fund really became a role model nationally. We had practically no overhead. We were able to supply much needed dollars to community partners who were doing controversial things like clean needle exchanges or providing emergency assistance to help people pay rent who were not well. We thank the foundation on their 100th anniversary because the foundation was actually the trailblazer.